By the time I get home, I'm completely drained. I barely have energy to open the front door. Today was an ordeal. It dragged on forever and ever, and yet it still felt like I didn't have enough time to get everything done. After changing out of my vomit-stained clothes, I make myself a cup of tea. I'm hoping a few sips will help me relax and unwind. I sit down on the couch, cup in hand. When it's cool enough to drink, I take a sip and feel a little bit of today's pressure lift from my shoulders. My laptop is sitting next to me. I know I shouldn't bite off more than I can chew today. If I check for new requests, I'll probably regret it. I unfold the laptop and navigate to Corpse Girl's website. One new request. Shit. These are all really beginning to pile up. I can't restrain myself from opening the request. Request details. It's going to be the one that Katsuno sent. The request came while I was busy with Kojiro and Tomoe. Probably around the time we were at the morgue. The image of the victim downloads. Yep. I stare intently at the picture of my older sister. Oh! Ooh. Plot twist! And I didn't even consider it. I stare intently at the picture of my older sister. Yuriko Kurosawa. 28 years old, senior high school dropout, currently on parole after a short second stint in prison. Yuriko, what are the odds of you appearing here on my screen in my life at this moment? I haven't spoken to you for so long. I haven't seen you. I haven't even received contact from you, only to ignore it. Why are you here now? Why does somebody want you dead? I suppose it's not that hard to think of why someone would request your death. I'm sure you have a lot of enemies thanks to that crew you run with. But for someone to actually use Corpse Girl's website to request your death, it's coincidental. Too coincidental, just like everything that's happening lately. Yuriko, I hate you so much. You abandoned me when I needed you. You abandoned Mother, even though she abandoned us first. I hate you. Corpse Girl never refuses a request. It's one of her convictions. I'll never refuse a request. I close the laptop's lid and rub my eyes. I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. June 13th, Saturday morning.
She's dead. Splattered in the flower bed. Probably matches the photo you sent. Wish I'd seen that.
Thanks, Kojiro. And thank Tomoe for me.
No prob.
Where are you, anyway?
Parking lot across the road. Perfect view of her apartment. People are coming outside. Must have heard the splat. Mad. We'd better gun it. See ya.
Okay, bye.
How did you get the corpse back there? Did you just leave the corpse? Hang up the phone and a smile fights its way across my tired face. Emi Katsuno is dead. She killed herself thanks to the trauma of discovering her own corpse at her doorstep. Even though I forgot to send the corpse photo last night. I nearly fucked up our entire plan due to how exhausted I was. With some stroke of luck, I managed to wake up early this morning. Thankfully, my first thought upon waking was to send the photo. I would have received the picture only an hour before the time marked on it. It was a close call. A very close call. But I can't help but wonder if it worked in our favor. Kojiro and Tomoe rushed over to her apartment to deliver the corpse, forcing Emi into a confrontation with the photo, an imminent time of death, and then the delivery of her own corpse all in the space of an hour worked to our advantage. It works so well that I'm starting to consider making this our regular mode of operation. I glance at the burner phone atop the coffee table. Since Emi is already dead, there's no point in me waiting 24 hours to discard it. I'll get rid of it right away. After that, I'll have to figure out what to do about the other remaining requests. I still have 2 photos of victims that I crafted on the same day I made Emi's photo. With all the urgency of plotting Emi's demise, I didn't have a chance to send them. I'll have to edit them a little bit because of the timestamp on them and are now out of date, but that's okay. It's a quick fix. And then there's the request for Yuriko Kurosawa. I'll need to deal with that too. Eventually. June 14th, Sunday morning. A quiet morning at the library is just what I need to escape from the chaotic whirlwind that I've been trapped in for the last few days, or weeks. The place is silent as usual. There aren't many people around. I manage to find a seat in my favorite reading nook, and I leave my belongings in a chair to save my spot while I browse for a book to read. I can't bring myself to continue reading Strange Flower right now. Reading a book about corpses while trying to take a moment away from my own life is just not going to work for me. I scan the bookshelves and look for something light to read. Am I in the mood for a comedy? Probably not. A fantasy adventure? Maybe, though that's never really been my thing. Biographies are out of the question, so are history books. I can pretty much dismiss any non-fiction straight away. I'm just not in the mood. So what should I read? I thumbed through a couple of trashy romance light novels. The covers look appealing, with attractive characters smiling and holding each other and falling in love. But the content within each one is utter crap. A housewife looks for love after her husband vanishes. A vampire lord seeks his vampire queen. A college student falls in love with his professor, only to find she's his long-lost sister. Ew. It's all drivel. I could write better stories than these, but maybe everyone thinks that way. Defeated, I put all the books back on the shelf and return to the chair I saved. Take a seat and simply browse through my noise feed on my phone. A few photos from acquaintances, comments on the weather, a short essay on human rights, even a poem written in poor, broken English. Trash. All of it. I used to love this inside look at other people's lives. I lived for it. I thrived on it. I used to be aroused at the smallest glimpse inside someone else's life. I couldn't get more than a few hours without browsing noise. But now, something is different. Something inside me has changed, called medication. I want to say that I've recently become cynical, jaded, but that wouldn't be accurate. I've been this way as long as I can remember. The appeal of voyeurism just isn't there anymore. My growing ability to manipulate wow, why is that hard for me? To manipulate the lives and deaths of others has ruined my pleasure I once gleaned from simply spying on them. I need more people to die. Maybe then I'll find satisfaction. Ecstasy. Release. I lean back in the chair and fold my arms across my chest. My foot taps against the carpeted floor impatiently. I won't find comfort in this library. I won't find relaxation. I'll only find whatever elusive feeling I'm looking for once Corpse Girl's work is complete. I can't rest yet. Not now that things are beginning to escalate. I could be orchestrating the deaths of 3 people right now. The 2 women that had their deaths requested at the same time as Emmy, and my very own sister, Yuriko. People are counting on me. People are counting on Corpse Girl to deliver her judgment. I'll hoist the strap of my handbag over my shoulder and stand up. It's time for Corpse Girl to usher in a new era of human suffering. Dramatic! Oops, not that button. I want to sit.
A bizarre string of similar deaths in Tokyo over the weekend have left police and detectives completely baffled.
Hold on, I just want to save. I'm going to keep playing. No.
We have Chief Detective Fujikawa at the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department in the studio today to discuss the events. According to eyewitness reports, a young woman plummeted to her death from an apartment building on Saturday morning. 2 other women suffered a similar fate in different locations late on Sunday night.
Oh.
Police have not yet released information on the identities of the young women. Would you care to share your thoughts, Detective Fujikawa?
We cannot rule out the possibility of homicide in these cases. Police recovered additional bodies at the site of each death. In each instance, a look-alike corpse matching the appearance of the victim was found.
You can't leave the corpse!
This cannot be mere coincidence. I believe that a single perpetrator is behind the deaths of all 3 women. Leaving a look-alike corpse at the scene of each crime seems to be some sort of psychotic calling card. It's clear that the death of each victim was premeditated. In cases like these, the perpetrator is often looking to be caught, even if only subconsciously. It won't take long to track them down. Once forensic analysis reveals the identities of the look-alike corpses, we will be able to uncover how and where they were obtained. We will bring the perpetrator to justice.
Police are urging citizens to be cautious in the coming weeks. If you see anyone behaving suspiciously, please call the following number.
Damn, this shit's really starting to blow up.
Yeah, it's about time.
3 deaths in 1 weekend. Corpse Girl is on fire.
She couldn't have done it without you. And Kojiro. So, thanks. I know those corpse deliveries yesterday were rather last minute.
No problem. Had nothing better to do anyway.
I've still got 1 victim ready to conquer, but I'm not sure when to go through with it.
What's the issue?
It's someone I know.
So? Didn't bother you when we stuck it to that Emmy chick.
This is a little different. It's my sister.
Yo, hold up. You've got a sister?
Mm-hmm. Yuriko. She's older than me.
Shit. And like, someone requested her death through Corpse Girl's website?
Seems like it.
Jeez. What are the chances?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Well, think it over a bit longer. You might want to lay low for a while anyway. Sounds like Shinya's dad is all over this case.
Sorry? Shinya's dad?
That detective guy, Fujikawa.
What? He's Shinyo's dad?
Yep, friggin' scary guy. Had an awkward dinner with him and Shinyo a while back.
Wow. You know, I met him once before.
You did?
He certainly was intimidating. But don't worry, we only met by chance. Had nothing to do with Corpse Girl.
Alright, as long as he doesn't know your identity, you should be fine. Still, what's your next move?
I'll think over what to do about my sister for a little longer. But as soon as more requests come through the website, I'm going to fulfill them. I don't have the luxury of time. I can't just lay low, like you said.
Or you could try sending the photos without the corpses for a little bit.
Sheesh, when did you grow a pair?
I'm serious. I'm tired of lagging behind. Corpse Girl is on a winning streak now. It's up to me to keep it going.
Okay, well, just let me know when you need me.
Thanks. I will.
Well, back to work or whatever.
I turn back to my computer after Tomoe leaves. 3 deaths in 1 weekend. Corpse Girl truly is at the top of her game. It was a bit hard work, but in the end I managed to pull through, thanks to a bit of luck, of course. Yesterday, after returning home from the library, I had a sudden burst of inspiration. I ran a reverse image search on the photos of the 2 women that were submitted to Corpse Girl's website. It was pretty easy to locate their noise profiles thanks to that. I was kind of shocked when I saw that we all shared 2 mutual friends on Noise, Emi Katsuna and Yuriko Kurosawa. A bit of digging through their profiles revealed their names to be Fuyumi Amano and Manami Sachiko. They both worked at the same store as Emi, and my sister. It struck me then that all these requests must be somehow related, but that didn't matter so much. Tracking down Amano's and Sachiko's addresses wasn't as difficult as I'd feared. I contacted Tomoe, and she told me she was familiar with the store they worked at. She volunteered to head over there and see if she could access the employee records. Apparently the whole job was so easy that she managed to walk in and out in 3 minutes flat. She said that none of the staff even batted an eyelid as she walked in, and she simply strode into the back room, rummaged through the filing cabinet, and snapped a photo of the employee contact sheet. With that information at our disposal, nothing stood in our way of delivering lookalike corpses to their homes. A few hours shared between the morgue and the factory, and it was done. Both Amano and Sachiko killed themselves within an hour of each other. So far, the kill rate of delivering a photo and then a corpse is 100%. I can only imagine the thoughts that must go through someone's mind when they are faced with their own corpse. The looming dread, hopelessness, and fear of inevitability has proven to be so overwhelming that suicide becomes the only viable option. Here's the problem, though, in reality. If you do that and you leave the corpse behind as they are, once it's on the news that this is happening, it no longer becomes a... it stops becoming, like, spiritual or inhuman. It becomes plotted and planned, and then they know that it's just going to look like them and that it's not actually them, because even the police are saying that the corpses are just lookalikes, you know? Anyway. Exactly, and then the only one who's going to get in trouble is Kojiro. He's the escape mule. Because of this development, I finally wrote out the possibility of Corpse Girl's victims being murdered by some mysterious stranger. I only ever invented the theory due to strange circumstance in which Ruri Hatano died. After all, she was hung from a scarecrow in an uncannily similar fashion to the corpse photo I invented for her. None of the other victims' deaths since then have made me truly suspect that another party could be involved. All of them have clearly been suicides, or in the case of Eiichi Hanada, coincidental accidents. Kotomi Ida's death was an outlier since she was likely killed out of self-defense. I'm about 90% certain that Corpse Girl's power lies in the ability to convince victims to end their own lives. There's no third-party murderer acting on her behalf. And I've begun to suspect that the power I hold is no esoteric, arcane force. It's not some supernatural art. It's not witchcraft or sorcery or some holy power bestowed upon me from on high. The power of Corpse Girl holds is simply determination, grit, and resolve. My will to end lives is what drives me to craft convincing corpse photos and deliver lookalike cadavers. That in itself is enough to act as the knife twisting in a victim's side. It's enough to compel those weak of heart and weak of mind to end their lives. Now, in a way, they might not be as easy to track to the morgue because these people are people who they couldn't find the family for to take them. They couldn't, So depending on more information, some of these corpses may not even have a name if they didn't have anything to, like, identify them to the morgue. So it could be give or take depending on if they actually know who the body belongs to. But, which is, again, why he says you can only take from the left side, because the other ones are either going to be picked up or examined, so they clearly know who this person is, and they are, you know, trying to figure it out. Anyway, if that's all my power ends up being, I'm happy. I'm happy that I can be the instrument that delivers Corpse Girls justice, regardless of whether it's through mundane or mysterious methods. As long as victims continue to drop like flies in the wake of Corpse Girls' ascension, I will remain content. And this is only just the beginning.